Alrighty, people. It is football time. Thursday night football. We got two teams battling for who will not finish last in the NFC East. The New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys.
Come on, talk it up.
Just who can not finish last. That's what this matchup's about. Am I right?
Absolutely not. It's about who's going to finish first. I think that somebody's a little on a high horse right now because of his Washington Commanders.
I don't know. Jaden Daniels looks pretty damn good. Looks like the truth.
Okay.
Can't believe we already have the best quarterback in the NFC East.
He's going to get popped soon, and then he's out rest of the season, and then we're crying. I don't want that.
Only
he
Daniel
just needs to protect himself.
Only Daniel Jones can do something so silly. I appreciate you guys for being here with us. Thanks for joining the stream. We are going to answer your questions for week numero 4. And obviously we've got football tonight. Y'all know the dealio. Drop a super chat if you want to skip the queue. Otherwise, we'll go in order. One thing I will say, by the way, guys, is just for full transparency's sake, YouTube does take a ridiculously high percentage of super chats from us. If you want to support us as creators, I'm just going to paste a link to our website where you can ask us a question. It's a far better experience, by the way. There's free rankings over there, trade calculator, that kind of thing. And of course, you can ask us start sit questions, trade questions, whatever the case may be. And we don't lose like that 30% that YouTube takes, which is absolutely mental. But we are going to do some super chats. There is a little bit of news to discuss. First things first is that Trey McBride hasn't practiced yet. He might miss this week. We'll have to follow up on that. So originally, the Christian McCaffrey news was that the latest was, he might miss multiple months. Okay. Well, then a report comes out literally minutes ago from Rappaport, who says it's a matter of weeks before his return, not months. So it's completely conflicting reports. There is no timeline for CMC getting back right now. It's as confusing as it could possibly get. For the 49ers, though, Deebo Samuel was limited in practice. That's a great sign for him potentially playing this week. And it would obviously move Brandon Ayuk down rankings if a guy like Deebo's out there. And clearly it would make Juwan Jennings...
You might got disconnected. I don't know if you can hear.
Can you guys still hear me? I think you can still hear me. Sorry, my computer is so stupid. Let's see if I can get Badaki back with us too. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So if Deebo plays, obviously Juwan Jennings is not someone we're very excited about, right? Devontae Adams popped up with a hamstring, but he wasn't DNP. He did practice. It was in a limited fashion. David Njoku practiced in a limited fashion, which would be great to get him back. Both of the Eagle wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, did not practice. I have this inclination that they probably won't play. Joe Mixon doesn't practice again. Tank Dell is definitely not going to play. I thought Dameon Pierce was practicing. Did he not? Was he a DNP again? I swear he was practicing. Did he go back to a DNP?
He must have, because I thought he was practicing.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Alvin Kamara limited in practice Thursday. Deebo Samuel seen practicing Thursday. Okay. So just a little bit of an update for you. Keenan Allen has a legit shot to play. I think that's the other one we should talk about. But all right. Let's get to some of these questions. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we appreciate you. We're going to go in order of the super chat here, and then we'll try and go in order of the chat. First of all, Scott King, we really appreciate you supporting us here on YouTube. I just want to say that. I can see that you supported us or signed up here as a YouTube membership before the stream started, so we appreciate you there, Scott. Thank you so much. But the first super chat that I can see is from Tommy Tickets. He says, hey, guys, Carson Steele, Braylon Allen, Rashad White, have to start one as my RB1. I think we would both still. Yeah, I think we would both agree it's still Rashad White, but we're not in love with it, especially with his production that we saw this past week. But hopefully that can change here coming into tough matchup where he might be needed.
Yeah.
But
By
thank
the
you so
way,
much.
we got a like goal today of 50. Be a friend, hit that like button, help us reach that goal. But all right, so we got one from Ocho here. He says half PPR, need one, Conklin or Schultz with Ingram questionable.
For me, this would be Tyler Conklin, just because the matchup is a little bit more difficult for someone like a Garrett Wilson to get a little bit open with Patrick Surtain. He's been shutting down all the wide receivers he's been going up against. So maybe Conklin, don't expect that 15 plus crazy point game that he had. Maybe expect 8, 6, and that's kind of where you're at. But Dalton Schultz is interesting, especially with Tank Dell probably not playing and Joe Mixon not playing as well. So
yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a very interesting. Yeah, I would slightly lean Conklin, but it's close. Just Chrome with the donation here. I appreciate you, man. He says, need an RB2 with Mixon out. PPR, Steele or Dowdle. I think you got to go Dowdle. It is a good matchup. Well, it's the middle of the pack matchup versus your Giants. And the reality is with Steele, if Kareem Hunt's going to be in play, it's very difficult to project that backfield. I'm not sitting here and saying Kareem Hunt's going to take over the job, but I'm just saying it could be a 3-headed backfield, which is not enticing. And also, Clyde Edwards-Helaire could be back. It's just, it's rough. So,
thank you so much for that super chat there. Just Chrome, we did get one from Rocket MLG. He says full PPR pick 3: Garrett Wilson, Jason, Zay, Mason, Deontay.
Yeah, this is a very rare situation where I'm not going to say Garrett Wilson. It would be Deontay Johnson, it would be Jordan Mason, and it would be JSN for me. Love JSN this week. In fact, hey guys, we are trying something new. We haven't done this ever, but right after the game finishes tonight, we're gonna drop a video for you guys, and it's our starts of the week. We have never tried this. We don't know how it's gonna go. Honestly, we're kind of worried that it will completely tank the algorithm, but YOLO. We wanted to just see when everyone finishes watching football, would they enjoy watching our starts of the week? So that video is going to be out, and the reason I say that is because JSN, that's a little preview. He will be featured on that video. I'm very excited for him. Nobody gives up more fantasy points to slot wide receivers than the Detroit Lions. That's how you beat this team pretty consistently. And breaking news, Badaki, go to your lineups right now because Trey Lance was just changed from healthy to out. I just want to make sure everybody out there, you know, just get Trey Lance out of your starting lineup. Why would they even tell us that? Why is that even an update?
Because all the Trey Lance people, all the Trey Lance people is like, oh, Trey Lance, and now they think that they have to say something about Trey Lance.
No, they don't
because
they haven't had to say something about him for a minute. Let's let him rest. I don't want to think about him anymore.
Michael O'Connell, thank you so much for the super chat.
And by the way, I'm sorry, because Garrett Wilson, we didn't say Garrett Wilson. I just want to clarify. I don't want to face Pat Surtain at any point. And I think when you have a lockdown corner, you have to be a little concerned, especially one like Pat Surtain. The Broncos give up the fewest points to fantasy wide receivers. Pat Surtain shut down DK Metcalf. He shut down Mike Evans, George Pickens, and you know, if you go back and look at the last time we saw Garrett Wilson face versus a lockdown corner, that was Snead in week 2 versus the Titans. He only had 6 targets. The targets, I mean, the reality is you're not going to want to throw towards that corner. And if that corner is facing off versus your wide receiver 1, you might have to find other ways to beat the team. So we could be playing checkers when we think we're playing chess, but that's my answer. Darnold or Fields, Badaki?
For me, this is Sam Darnold. Love Justin Fields. I think he has a great matchup, but I think I'm going to go with the hot hand and Sam Darnold, who has most touchdowns so far, playing on a hot offense. Jordan Addison, a weapon, does come back this week as well. So give me Sam Darnold.
Okay. It is close because this is a really, really good matchup for Justin Fields, but I do lean Darnold slightly just because of that touchdown equity that he's got so far.
I agree there.
All right. L Jet says trade London and Mason for Marvin and Jacobs. What do you reckon here, mate? What do you reckon? London and Mason for Marvin and Jacobs.
I would say, I want Marvin and Jacobs. And I know, like, this news with Mason, I think his value could potentially rise even more.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people might just say, you know what, let me just get Jordan Mason if I'm a CMC owner, and they'll pay whatever they have to pay. So, and I think this is the type of price you're going to have to pay now. So give me Martin Harrison Jr. and Josh Jacobs there as well.
Yeah, I just
Thank you
feel
so much for
like
that super chat.
Marvin, I think I prefer very clearly over London, especially getting Marvin right before this game versus the Commanders. That's crazy. Joe Castles here says Raiders, Dolphins, Broncos, or Titans defense.
Um,
I can tell you I have a scary amount of Titans defense this week. It makes me want to drop some of them and just choose a different option in case they tank, but I've got a lot of Tennessee Titans this week.
yeah, Titans are definitely the first one. So in order, it will be Titans, then Raiders, then Broncos. Sorry, Tit.
Yeah, that sounds right
It
to
will
me.
be Titans, Raiders. No, actually, it will be Titans, Dolphins, Raiders, Broncos.
Really? Okay. I don't.
Yeah, because
Why are people
because
excited to
of
play the
Will,
Dolphins?
it's because I mean you say it all the time. The guy can't read pressure, and yeah, you can at least guarantee five,
I get
not
that,
five
but
sacks,
it's like
but
the reason I find it tough to play the Dolphins this week is because what are you expecting their offense to do?
yeah, and that's
If
fair.
they can't stay on the field, they're going to give up points. That's what's tough for me.
Hmm.
By the way, we did just get a question through the website.
Yeah, which
So
is awesome.
I'd like to answer that. If you guys don't know, YouTube does take 30% away. It's crazy. YouTube, what they're doing is criminal with these super chats. I'll be honest with you guys, but they take 30% away. Our website is something that actually benefits us even more as creators. So if you want to ask a question through our website, I'll paste a link there in the chat. And of course, we will answer them straight away if you do ask a question through the website. So let's do that real quick. But yeah, in order, I would say Titans, Raiders, Broncos, Dolphins. I don't want to play the Dolphins, but I can see the appeal.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so this is a trade
Hello,
question from
Tez.
Hello Tez. I'm gonna say answering on stream right now. Hopefully they're with us here, and let's go ahead and have a geese, shall we? So
Yeah,
0-3 in my home league, and I need a tight end. If I can, should I trade Bijan Yoshi for H.N. Kittle?
If I can, should I trade Bijan and Yoshi for Achan and Kittle? I mean, 12 team.
I kind of like this for the Kittle side. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I guess if Tua doesn't come back, this is rough. But Achan is like leading
Yeah,
running backs in targets right now. It's insane how much they're targeting him.
That's kind of where I'm at, and the reason why I'm a little bit hesitant is because, yeah, George Kittle has gotten work. I think we're one of those games with essentially Brandon Ayuk not being existent, and I think what is this gonna look like with Ayuk and Debo both healthy? I wonder who's available.
Kittle was
on
already
waiver
dominating
wires.
with both of those guys healthy, though.
Well, sure, with Ayuk healthy, but Ayuk not being part of the game plan. Like, what does that look like with Ayuk part of the game plan? Maybe that's probably the better way to say it, because he dominated the first 2 weeks where Ayuk once again didn't have too much work in week 2. Ayuk didn't have too much work.
Yeah.
And another reason why I'm hesitant is because of Devon and Tua. Like, if he's going to be getting targets but not being able to move the ball like they were with Tua, it's like, I don't know. I think my next question for you, Tess, will be like, who's available on the waiver wires? And it's not exciting at all. I don't think we're going to be excited to start a Cole Kmet or Tyler Conklin or a Noah Fant or any of these guys. But I think Bijan for me is what is really holding this down. And Andre Yeshivas, if he continues this role of just being a minimum 8 to 11 points, maybe that's good enough for your team. But
I'm going with the H.N. Kittle side. I think Kittle is a top 5 play every week when he's healthy, given the current nature of the tight end position. So, to me, Kittle's a smash win so far if you drafted him. And dealing with the injury, I think that's the only reason you're even getting this offer. If Tua's back right after the IR, then you would have stolen this deal easily. So I'm going to go H.N.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, though, like, the reality is there is a scenario here where Tua isn't back, but you talk about that. I don't think that's going to happen, but you do talk about that to
Yeah,
people. So just want to
yeah,
clarify.
I do talk about that, and I think what scares me is that if that is a reality, and if he doesn't come back or he does misses a good chunk and portion of the season, I mean, we saw what Devon did without Tua. He got 8 points. He did get the targets, but like that's not the type of production we're hoping
Yeah,
for Devon, and we don't know what
they
that
just needed
timeline
Tim
is.
Boyle. We'll see.
They just they just
Um,
needed Tim Boyle.
Hey guys, two ways that you can get your question prioritized. The first way is by super chatting. The second way is by asking a question through our website. It's a great experience for you and for us as creators. Full transparency. We don't lose money to YouTube because Google is a
Yeah.
little greedy with these super chats.
And I think it's a little bit more too. Like you can link your team there, guys. By the
You
way,
can
like
link your
if you want
team.
to,
There's free
and you can.
expert rankings, the calculator, all that kind of stuff. So check it out
There's so
for
much
sure.
more there.
And if you sign
But
up,
thank you
use a
so much
promo
for
code
that.
LAND, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
Joe
Our
Castles,
next,
we got one from Travis. This is his first super chat. He says, start Steele or Rashawn Johnson this week.
I'm still going to go Steele personally. I think we have to wait to see what Rashawn's going to do. That offensive line is terrible. Um, excuse me. That offensive line is terrible. They're playing the Rams. Give me Carson Steele. I think this game they will be up off early and often if Justin Herbert doesn't play, which at the moment looks like he's trending to play. Surprisingly, he did practice in a limited fashion again today. So give me Carson Steele.
Yeah, I lean that way as well, but I do really like Rashawn Johnson's matchup. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his matchup this week.
Yeah. It's not like we're not a fan of Roshan. It's just more of we just need to wait and see what his role looks like. But if you have him already, I think that is the first right step essentially.
Yeah.
Dale, thank you so much for the super chat. He says one running back and a flex: Cooper, McLaurin, Pollard, or Ford. One running back and a flex. This would definitely be Tony Pollard, and that flex would be Amari Cooper. You let me know if there's anything different.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. I love Amari Cooper's matchup this week. Hey guys, if you're going to spam your question, you will be put in timeout. I mean, we have to say this all the time for some reason, but your question is not more valuable than anybody else's. If you're spamming your question, it's going to make us not want to answer it. I don't know why people do that. Okay. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you, man. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I don't
Dale.
know if you saw, but we did get another one on the website here.
Did we? Wow.
Yeah,
This is cool, guys.
JA, yeah. Once again, guys, it's not like you can skip. It's not skipping the queue essentially, but I think this is a better user experience. You can link your team. You can get a little bit more details. You can say, hey, this is what our league looks like if you link your league and team. Anyways, go on the website there.
And let's be honest, it would definitely skip the queue for you as well if you're going to ask it to the website. Okay, so this is from Peignage. Appreciate you. He says, team running backs are Mason, Jacobs, JT Walker, Allen. Wide receivers are Garrett Wilson, Shakir, Jennings, Adunze, McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr., and Downs. And it looks like they receive Justin Jefferson. They send away Josh Jacobs and Garrett Wilson.
And you have Mason, JT Walker.
Yeah, Mason, JT Walker.
My initial reaction is like, I don't want to give up Josh Jacobs. I would rather give up JT Walker or Mason.
I don't know if I agree.
Like
Mason for sure. Yeah, if you can counter and make this Mason, I think that makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah, like it's not to say like I would just do that straight up. I'm not saying I would just swap Josh Jacobs for JT Walker and Mason and just get Justin Jefferson. It's like I would just rather sell those guys over Josh Jacobs essentially.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now that's asking too much. But I would say, again, if you can counter that and make that Jordan Mason, I think we feel much better about that long term. I think that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I would agree there. But we appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I really hope that helps. Guys, we're going to be answering questions up until kickoff, maybe 10 minutes before kickoff. I'm a Giants fan. I want to sit down, relax, put my feet up. Okay, so if you have any pressing questions, drop a super chat. If not, we're going to try and get to every other question in order.
Or you can drop a question through the site. It's a great platform, free expert rankings calculator. If you do sign up with a free membership, use the promo code LAND. Sean is the next super chat, though, I believe, right? Thank
Yeah.
you, Sean.
Thank you so much. Brees Hall is my RB1, but need to know who to start at running back. 2, Zeke, Braylon Allen, Bucky, or Chase Brown. My goodness.
Hmm.
I want to start any of these guys.
No, I think it's
If I had
Braylon
to,
for me
yeah, if I had to
because
choose one, it would be Braylon.
they
I
are
agree.
heavy favorites against the Broncos this week, and if that plays out, then Braylon should get plenty of work. But that's a
Yeah.
tough one. Thank you, Sean, for the question.
Thank you
By the
so
way, we didn't
much.
even say we hit 30K. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
congratulations.
We hit 30K before I could even change the graphic to say road to 30K.
My
So
guy, he had plenty of time to change it too, and he still hasn't changed it.
I do not
We're
have
doing
plenty
it.
of time. I'm drowning in content every week. I appreciate you guys big time. Thank you for the support. You guys are awesome. Harrison is the next question here.
Yeah, I have PPR Flex 2, Shaheed, Ladd, Elliott, Donald, Jennings, Leggett, same league, dynasty trade. Okay, so let's start there. You need to flex 2 options. For me, if Debo Samuel does not play, I'm going to be starting Shaheed and Jawan Jennings. But if Debo Samuel does play, I'm going to be starting Shaheed and most likely one of these running backs,
Well,
which I
yeah,
don't
that's tough
love.
because it would be Dowdle, but we don't know the
Right, because we
answer
don't know
yet,
that.
so
We don't know
we'd
that
have to make
answer.
that
Yeah.
decision tonight. I would.
Uh,
I'd probably. Here's what I would do. I would put Dowdle out there, just because I don't know who's going to be available or not. So I'd probably start Dowdle tonight. I don't like it. I don't want to do it, but I would have to start Dowdle tonight. And then if Debo's back, you'll know you made a good decision. If not, you'll be struggling. But I think you can start Jennings over Shaheed if Debo's not back in that scenario. Otherwise, you go Shaheed.
yeah. The second part of this question, it says same league dynasty trade. So you receive Pittman, Ferguson, Bryce, and a 25 fourth for
Nope.
Caleb, Rico.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Not if it's a super flex league.
No.
If this is a one quarterback league, do you do that?
He has Murray, Carr, Ingram, and he is contending. I'm assuming. So
If
you
this is a
receive
super
Pittman,
flex league,
Ferguson, Bryce.
there's literally no way in hell I'm even like that is a super disrespectful offer in super flex.
Yeah, don't do that. Especially with Bryson getting benched. Like, why would you consider that Michael Pittman having Caleb Williams? I'm not Caleb Williams, excuse me. Anthony Richardson. Yeah,
And if it's one
hard.
quarterback, Bryce is probably not even rosterable at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I don't think that's a very fair offer. Joe, I appreciate the donation, man. He says Darnold or Dalton. We're going to go Darnold. Definitely, Dalton's a fun guy to throw in there and just see what happens. But, yeah, we're going to go Dalton for sure, or Darnold for sure. He's leading the league in touchdowns, and he's about to get Jordan Addison back. It's tough to say no to that.
I agree there. Thank you so much for that super chat. Hugo, how you doing? He says, any trade ideas? So he shows his team in any trade ideas. So Anthony Richardson, get him off your team. I'll tell you that right now. Is he a trade option? I don't know.
I don't think you can trade him away. People are talking about dropping him.
Running backs are Cook, Ford, Braden Allen, Steele, Ray Davis. We have Jonathan Brooks. You also have
great.
Justin Jefferson, Rice, London, Devonta Smith, Andre Yeshivas, David Njoku,
So,
Mike Gesicki.
First things first, Njoku will be back, and with the current landscape of tight ends, he seems like a really good trade target right now. So that means you should hold him if you have him. The good news as well, Jonathan Brooks is nearing a return from the injury, and he should be ready to go soon. That could solve your RB2 problem. If you could package like Jerome Ford and Yeshivas for an upgrade at running back, or Jerome Ford and Carson Steele for an upgrade at running back, if someone has lack of depth, if you can package Braylon Allen and Jerome Ford, if you can package Jerome Ford, just ideally I'd like to improve my running back room, and I'd like to have less names and more like solidified pieces.
Yeah, I would agree there. I also think another constructive thing that you can do with your team is probably see what's on waiver wires. I don't know if this is a 10-man or 12-man league, but in some of our leagues, like for example, the Flock League, quarterbacks that are available: Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins. Like, are you starting any of those names over Anthony Richardson? Out of curiosity.
Could you list them again? Sorry.
Justin Fields, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins.
Yes, not Kirk, but the other two, yeah.
Okay. Once again, just for examples, there you go. I think that's once again another constructive things that you can do. Maybe there's Sam Darnold available. Maybe Baker
Yeah.
Mayfield's available. It just really depends on how big your league is. I think we would both agree. We get Anthony Richardson has a higher upside. But I think if you just want to save for floor, then maybe some of those guys are better quarterback plays until Anthony Richardson can, I guess, prove himself.
Dowdle or Akers. Now this just got really interesting because I swear I was tracking Dameon Pierce's injury report, and I swear that he was practicing, but he's not.
Yeah,
So that makes Akers a legit option if that's the case.
So Dameon Pierce making progress, still no practice. He's not practicing Thursday, but Texans increasing his optimism about his recovery.
I'll say this. If I knew that there was no Dameon Pierce and no Joe Mixon, I would go Akers because it's a smash matchup. It really is. Yeah. I don't know that. So we can't predict the future, unfortunately. Again, if I knew Akers was starting, he would be my play easily. I love his matchup versus Jacksonville. And they're going to have control of that game. So,
I would say this. Since they didn't practice today, Dameon Pierce and Joe Mixon, I think it's a pretty good telling chance that maybe you should. I would take the risk here, just Chrome, and start Akers in hopes that Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce aren't playing, because it's a really good sign that's Thursday and they haven't practiced. If I'm not mistaken, tomorrow is travel day for some of these teams.
I think Mixon can get a limited participant in play this week if he's limited. Yeah. Like that would be like, if you don't play Dowdle tonight and Mixon is limited tomorrow, you're like, fuck.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, look, it's risky. Maybe there's other people you have on your team there, Chrome. Like, I wonder if you have Dowdle, Akers, and Steele. Like, I'd rather take that risk. You know, maybe you have Akers, Dowdle, and Rashawn. Maybe I'm willing to take that risk.
You can put a different running back in there, and you can like flex a name like Michael Wilson off the waivers if all goes wrong, or Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps there, Just Chrome. Thank you so much. Old Greg, how you doing, brother?
What's up, old Greg?
Old Greg.
Come on down, John B.
Hey, the OBX season 5.
I stopped watching. I can't keep up. What the hell are these kids doing in Outer Banks?
It's hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
12-team PPR start 8. I'm 3-0. Should I trade DK, Jaden Reed, Jonathan Brooks for Breece and Christian Watson? Roster is Allen, Mason, CMC, Braylon, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, Malik, Ingram, Gesicki. This is an interesting trade. I would say that your running backs, you do need a running back. DK and
but
Jaden
you're giving up
Reed,
too much,
though.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Obviously, Breece Hall is a superstar, but like, I would hate to make this trade and then see Jonathan Brooks be the player that we think he can be. That's what's so difficult. If this offense is going to be better with Andy Dalton and it's a viable fantasy offense, and Jonathan Brooks actually is that dude that we saw from Texas. I know he's coming off an injury. That's difficult because you're losing two very startable, great names in DK and Jaden Reed if you do this. I mean, if you can make it DK and Brooks for Breece, great. And remove Christian Watson, that would be my counter to that person.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll give you DK and Brooks for Breece. I'm keeping Jaden Reed. It's just, yeah. Or if you want to do the opposite, give them Jaden Reed and Brooks for Breece and keep DK. But I think what they're asking right now is too much. That's okay. Sherney, thanks for the donation. Full PPR, need a wide receiver 2. Trade Ferguson and JMO for Zay Flowers and Ertz. Thoughts? My quarterback is Daniels. Man, look. We always have to say this if we don't. Look, yeah, I hope you guys come to our stream for honesty. All right. And if I have to be honest right now, I really don't like this trade at all. I couldn't personally guarantee you that Jameson Williams isn't going to outscore Zay Flowers. So to move from Jake Ferguson to Zach Ertz when Washington has a young rookie tight end who is just kind of developing right now, I don't like the move. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm really not a fan of it. Ferguson, if he does what he did last week tonight, then he's probably a top 5, top 3 tight end in people's rankings rest of season. So I'm sorry. I hope you are open to just me being honest and transparent, but the upgrade from from Jameson Williams to Zay is nowhere near the downgrade from Ertz to Ferguson, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I agree. Thank you so much for that super chat, guys. We'll be live up until kickoff. Drop any super chats. If not, we're going in order of those super chats until we get to
or
your
you can
question.
use our website, which is a great feature over there. Free rankings, free expert rankings calculator. If you sign up, use the code LAND. But you can also just ask a question through the website, and it helps us out more than over here on super chat because they take such a high percentage. YouTube does of these donations. But let's go. Next question, GM.
Yeah, GM. CMC, Monty, and Lamar for Mixon, Gibbs, Dak. CMC, Monty, and Lamar for Mixon, Gibbs, and Dak.
I want the Mixon side. This is getting off of CMC and just this weird, crazy, unknown situation.
I agree. I completely agree. I don't want CMC at the moment, which is if you can get off him, that's great.
It's just
Coyote.
so confusing right now, dude. I don't understand what's happening.
Coyote SB, he said, how would you rank these 3? Dowdle, Lockett, Yeshivas. Dowdle, Yeshivas, Lockett for me. That's where I would be going.
You said Dowdle, Lockett, Yeshivas?
Yeah.
It'd be Dowdle, Yeshivas, Lockett for me in that order, but I think we go Dowdle. Yeah. Omar, appreciate you, man. He says start 1, Akers, Spears, Mostert. I'm going to go Akers, assuming there's no Mixon or Pierce. And then,
I need to see what Raheem Mostert is going to look like. And if they're going to instantly work him in.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned about that.
If Damian Pierce plays, I would still play Akers over Spears, but if Mixon plays, you got to go Spears here. But Akers, assuming he's a starter. All right, Josh is the next super chat here. He says full PPR, flex, Tyler Lockett or Wan'Dale Robinson.
I'm gonna go Wan'Dale. I think he's had a good floor so far. He's been clearly the second target right now. I think Tyler Lockett can definitely get worked into this offense, no doubt. But I think Wan'Dale has had the more consistent floor, averaging 9 to 11 fantasy points per game.
8 targets just need that as well.
Yeah. So if you just need those points, then sure.
Throw Shot, by the way, says using the website is way better than super chats. I agree. I'm going to put the link in there one more time in case anybody wants to ask a question through the site. We appreciate you guys, but these super chats are also very kind. The next one is from John. He says full PPR, flex Lockett or Wan'Dale.
We're going Kyle.
We're going Wan'Dale. Did we? My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
We just answered that. No, it's all good. Kyle.
I was like, wait, that sounds really familiar. My bad. Okay, Kyle.
Most are droppable for the get Michael Wilson to Mike Wilson. I would say for me, as a Raheem Mostert owner, I'm still keeping Raheem because even if the running back room this offense is not the best, maybe there will be like a 50-50 split here without Tua. So I'm just hoping to see like at least 6 to 7 points from Raheem right now, just so I can keep him on my team as a RB4.
Leggett is super interesting with no Adam Thielen. Like, I mean, if I do see a scenario in which Leggett pops off and you're like, damn, why didn't I roster him with Andy Dalton there? But I really don't like the idea of dropping Mostert. Like, would you rather have Mostert or Emmanuel Wilson? He has Emmanuel Wilson on his roster.
I would rather have Raheem Mostert.
I think so too. That might be the wrong call, but that's just my intuition. When Marshawn Lloyd is back from that injury, I do think they're going to want to use him.
I would rather have Raheem Mostert than Keaton Mitchell, but he's on the IR.
Yeah, which is a free stash. That's very smart from Kyle.
Yeah,
I think I'd drop Emmanuel for Leggett, as crazy as that sounds. iPhoenix says, need 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flex. And by the way, if Josh Jacobs gets injured, please don't hold us accountable for that because we cannot predict that. Need 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flexes. So Watson, I assume, is Christian Watson. That's Kirk, McBride, Johnson, Hubbard, Waddle. Wow, we're down bad right now, I think. Wow, that's tough.
5 players there. Okay,
so Jordan Love plays, Christian Watson's in, right?
Yep, no question.
I think regardless, Chuba's one of those flex spots.
Yep, I'm there with you.
I would say Kirk. So that's three players.
Watson, Herbert, Kirk, right?
At tight end, if McBride plays, you play him. If he doesn't play, I think I would throw Schultz in there.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
And we need one more name, I think. Waddle, I guess.
This
right?
is where I'll go Waddle. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I'll go Waddle.
That's a tough one, Phoenix. I really wish you the best of luck. That's tough.
Yeah, we really appreciate you. We did get another question on the website.
Did
here, guys.
we?
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah.
L Jets 323. Hey,
Okay,
we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
L
Zach
Jets
pulled that up.
323. Okay, let's have a little
Yeah.
look. By the way, guys, if you want to ask a question through the website, I'll send a link there in the chat. It just looks so great. If you sign up, by the way, you don't have an account, you get a free account. Use a promo code LAND. Okay, let's have a look here. Original trade was London and Mason for Marvin and Jacobs. Is this better? Okay, so remember we talked about this trade earlier. Okay, so
Yeah,
let's have a
it
look.
was London. Yeah. Thank you so much, by the way, for going on the website there, L Jets. We really appreciate you because you did drop
for real.
one on YouTube and you went to the website. That's awesome.
So
David
originally
Montgomery,
it was
Devonta
London and Mason for Marvin and Jacobs. Now it's Smith and Monty. I want to keep Monty personally. I'd rather do the other deal.
Yeah, I would rather keep Monty long term than Mason. I would rather have London long term than Devonta Smith.
I agree.
So it's you're kind of just flopping it now. Jets or L Jet.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we would.
But I'd do either of those trades. I much prefer the London Mason because you're just getting off the unknowns of that backfield in San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly. Because if CMC does happen to come back, then at least you have Monty, right? That is going to be He's going to be playable. So yeah, we appreciate you for that. By the way, thank you so much for going on the website there.
I'm going to label this side the winner, like the Marvin Harrison side. And by the way, guys, if you link your team he has linked his team. Yeah. So I was going to say, when you link your team on the website, again, use the code LAND. You can get a free account if you want. But when you link your teams through the My Teams feature, we can offer you counter offers, right? So to me, I would still, I'd still rather send Jordan Mason here. So I'm going to add Jordan Mason. I'm going to remove David Montgomery. If you can do it where you send Mason and Smith, that's even better. But the other option is the trade that you already have discussed where you sent Jordan Mason and Drake London, right? So those are three options. We would take the Marvin side of all of them, but I think in order, I'd prefer the Devonta Smith, Jordan Mason sending away, then Mason London, and then Monty Smith, right? In order.
Yeah, I agree. I agree there. So
awesome.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. That's
website's
awesome.
So good, man.
Yeah, it is.
Again, if you want to ask a question through the website, I'll paste that link there in the chat. Let's have a look at these super chats, though. What's the next one?
Mario, thank you so much, Mario. He says Garrett Wilson and Stevenson for Pollard and Cooper help. Are you talking about just in general?
I think
in general,
it's a trade question.
I want Garrett Wilson and Stevenson.
Yeah.
Now, if you're telling me who to start, I would be starting Amari Cooper over Garrett Wilson this week, I would be
right.
And I will be starting. Yeah. I think I'll still start Stevenson over Pollard this week as well.
Here's why this is a tough question. Because the side that we don't want long term is going to probably be better this week. So if you decline this trade for Pollard and Cooper, this week you're going to watch football and be like, why didn't I trade for Amari Cooper and Tony Pollard, right? But the reality is, season long, we still prefer Wilson Stevenson. It's just this current moment, Pollard and Cooper are the better starts. But if it's a trade, I'd rather have Garrett Wilson and Stevenson rest of the season. And you agree, obviously.
Yeah, I agree as well. Thank you so much for that super chat, by the way. We buy homes near you. Hey, guys, if you need a home near you, honestly, this is your contact here. What's 521 area code? 521 area code, out of curiosity.
512.
Austin, Texas. 512, excuse me.
Yes.
Shout out to Austin, Texas. You're kidding
Oh,
me.
okay. Wait a second.
If we move to Austin, Texas, we buy homes. Please tell me you can get us something. Okay? I don't
My
know if you
wife
know.
will not let us move to Austin, Texas.
I don't know if you know, but we went to Austin, Texas. Maybe there's in the future, Mason just wants us out there.
My
We'll
wife
see you there.
is not going to want
Yeah,
to move
my
to
wife.
Austin.
My wife does want to move to America. Period, and let alone Texas.
I
She would
love
not
it.
do that.
Hey,
Anyways,
by the way, I like Texas. Just want to be clear. I like Texas. All right. I'm just telling you, my wife is not a fan, and she wears the pants pretty much. Whatever she says goes. Hey, gents, Rashad White or Braylon Allen this week? I'm gonna go Rashad White.
we never answered his question.
We didn't. We didn't. What the hell are we doing?
Non PPR, pick one off of waiver wires. Okay. Out of tight ends. Ertz, commit likely. I don't know what to do. I feel like the longer play is probably likely.
Yeah.
You know, like there's conference to the right. Yeah. The reason why that, just to give you context, Biohomes, like, does Zach Ertz gets hurt? You know, he's an older tight end, and then we see Ben Sinnott or Sinnott come up. Cole Kmet, we've only seen that boom game because of Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was out, and does that go revert back to that? So likely just feels like the most suitable player there.
Yeah.
We will probably want long term.
I agree.
Daniel, how you doing? Thank you so much. Start Rashad White or Braylon Allen. This would be Rashad White still.
Yeah, I go Rashad White. I mean, I definitely get the question, and it wouldn't surprise me if Braylon Allen outscores him, but you have someone who is still getting, 70, it might go to 65% of the snaps this week, but I just feel better about his starting status, and I understand how Braylon could easily outscore him. This is a crucial week for Rashad White. If Rashad White stinks it up again, and he is no longer a startable asset. I mean, I've already in our videos moved him from a must start to a spot start each week now. So I get the question. Just Chrome says Goff or Caleb. We're gonna go Goff this week. Just a little more security in his offense as a whole, his offensive line. So yeah.
Yeah, I do expect Tyler Huntley to start personally, but I mean, you just gotta wait and see what happens.
Well,
really.
Yeah, that was the report. And then Tyreek came out and said he's only catching passes from Tim Boyle right now. This is from Omar Kelly, who's a journalist for the Miami Herald. I don't know if you saw that report.
I have not.
So, yeah, that's also something we have to kind of figure out how to digest. I don't really know who I want, look, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any preference personally because I think all three of these quarterbacks are going to be back. I think Tyler Huntley does have the higher upside because we've probably seen him the most in a successful offense in the past. So, and he's a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, how can you say no to a Pro Bowler?
Santo, thank you so much. He says, "Hey guys, need advice on my 12-team full PPR. Any moves?" He says. So your team is Burrow, Bijan, Kyron. I mean, phenomenal start so far.
Wow.
Rice, DJ, Kincaid with T. Higgins, and you have Kupp on the bench with Irving, Braylon, Tyler Algier, and Downs. I mean, this is a great team so far, to be completely honest with you.
The fact that you can place Cooper Kupp back into that lineup when he's healthy will make your team unstoppable. It really will. Like, where is he weak at? He has a tight end that's one of the top names so far. He has two insanely good running backs. He hit on Rashee Rice. Hopefully that he watched, my guys, and I had a part to play there. Probably not, but hopefully. He has Cooper Kupp. How are you supposed to improve this team? This team is already elite.
Yeah,
bro, ride it out. Honestly, ride it out is what I'd say.
I completely agree.
Maybe
Thank you so much
DJ Moore. I wouldn't mind moving DJ Moore if you can package DJ Moore and Braylon Allen, for example, and get to a Chris Godwin. Maybe that's too low. Let me look at my rest of season rankings. I mean, AJ Brown's dealing with an injury right now. Could you turn DJ Moore into him somehow? I mean, I would like with this team, Badaki. I'd even be like looking at the Tyreek owner and asking, "Hey, do you want DJ Moore for Tyreek?" Because I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait on Tyreek to come back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I get you. Yeah, thank you so much for that super chat, man.
By the way,
Hopefully
he
that
says
helped.
double RB strat, got Rashee Rice because of you guys, and traded Kincaid
Nice.
because of you guys. I love that, man.
Nice,
Congratulations.
nice. That's awesome. Carlos, he says 10-team PPR dynasty depth trade. Give 80 for Rico. I still would want 80 over Rico.
Yeah,
I think
me
it's
too.
a
But
rookie-
I mean, that AD Mitchell was a name you and I got roasted for having super low in our rookie rankings, and I feel like people now might understand why we felt that way. But
we love the talent. We just didn't love the landing spot because
hated
of
the
the
landing
quarterback
spot.
play. Yeah,
Quarterback
so,
play,
like,
but also like way too many mouths to feed with bad quarterback play.
yeah,
But
Pittman gets an extension in there as well.
I'm sorry, he's not a starter in this league. He's in a situation that's made him a potential starter.
And you have to keep that in mind. Like in Dynasty in 25, like the Cowboys should invest in a running back. Not saying they would, but they should.
Desperately need to.
So I don't know if Rico is even gonna be starting or even on this team next year. So I mean, I don't know what his contract situation looks like, but I'll keep 80 personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. I get the question.
Yeah, we buy homes. Thank you so much. Non PPR, pick one running back and a flex. So it's non PPR.
Okay.
So one running back. He has Etienne, Pollard, Singletary. Let's start there. Etienne, Pollard, Singletary.
Non PPR. I'm probably going Pollard here.
Yeah, I have Pollard. I think it's actually really close between all three of these guys, surprisingly. But Pollard just feels like the guy that's going to get the majority of the work in this backfield.
Scripts, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Singletary could be a good play, but the Cowboys could easily be up and they'll have to throw the ball, and Singletary will get targets, but that doesn't matter for you. Pollard, I feel like the Titans should be very competitive in that Miami game. I struggle to see a scenario in which it's like a blowout in Miami's favor, but that could obviously happen. I'm just thinking game script. So I would go Pollard there. And then at wide receiver, I guess, do we choose one name?
Yeah.
One running back and one flex.
Yeah, London, Deontay, Reed, Keenan, or Cooper.
For me, that would be Amari Cooper if there's no PPR involved.
If there's no PPR involved, yeah. I feel like he's the most likely person to find the end zone. I would say that London is creeping up there for me as well. Like, I think they're both really back-to-back. So keep that in mind.
Just worried about London slightly this week with the Lattimore assignment, but yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Mondo, that makes me think of the Good Burger for some reason. You know the Good Burger, right?
Yeah.
It's a Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can't take your order.
Can't take the order. Mm-hmm.
What's Mondo from? Is it the Mondo Burger or something like that?
I think it was something along those lines. Yeah. Well, the restaurant was called Good Burger, but I think there was a burger called the Mondo Burger.
Yeah. You know what? You remember the car that he crashed? Like the teacher's car?
No, I don't remember that. I
don't remember that. I remember thinking that car was the coolest car I've ever seen in my life when that movie first came out. I was like, oh my God, that car is so cool. Anyway, you guys don't care about that. He says Murray, HN, Mason, Jefferson, Reed, Kincaid, Hubbard, Shakir, Bench, Dell. Okay, he's basically saying any trades or changes. So right now he's starting Kyler Murray, HN, Jordan, Mason, Justin Jefferson, Jaden Reed, Kincaid, Hubbard, Shakir. He's got Pittman on his bench, Dell on his bench, Brooks, Lazard, Hunt, Allen. Yeah, right now I don't think you can make any changes because Dell is not going to play. Pittman is literally unplayable. I did some research, by the way, on Anthony Richardson, Badaki. 34 quarterbacks in the NFL have 40 dropbacks this year. Meaning they took a snap, they dropped back. 40 dropbacks, 34 quarterbacks in the NFL. Where do you think he ranks completion percentage this year?
Well, he's dead last, I would have to say.
34th. Yes, dead last. PFF
Dead
passing
last,
grade, 31st. Adjusted completion percentage, which rules out any throwaways, dead last. It's rough. But yeah, as far as like changes, I would be willing to try and trade Pacheco just because the verbiage they've used doesn't sound promising for him being back anytime soon. So I know he's on your IR, but if you could package him to upgrade somewhere and like someone wants to take on that risk, for example, Pacheco and Hubbard. Hubbard is an expiring option on your team. Can you package Pacheco and Hubbard and get a Stevenson on the low? A Pollard on the low? What about J.K. Dobbins? Would you take J.K. Dobbins? I think I would.
JK is hard for me, but I mean, it's interesting.
The way I'm viewing it is I don't think Pacheco plays again during fantasy.
Right, like where it matters. Like he probably will play. It's just not going to be. He probably play in the playoffs or.
And we don't even know if he'll be the same player, by the way, like when he's back.
Sell your shares. Yeah, no, I get you.
I mean, you can shoot a little higher if you want. Like you can shoot for an Aaron Jones or a Walker who's dealing with an injury. I just don't think you get that high. A Jacobs, but that'd be my only word of advice.
Yeah, thank you so much for that super chat, guys. We'll be live up until kickoff, which is probably in another 20 to 30 minutes here. I'm a Giants fan, so I definitely want to kick my feet up and watch this. But we'll take all the super chats we can until then. Or you can go on the website as well and get your questions answered through the website, which is awesome over there. The next question that I can see is Michael. He said Chuba or Najee this week. That's a great question. Phenomenal question. In my rankings currently, I personally have Najee Harris higher than Chuba.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got a great matchup this week. Big fan of his matchup. No Jaylen Warren. He should have an even larger role. Shane, I see your super chat, Shane, but your question was retracted. We don't see your question, Shane. So let us know, brother, if that question didn't go through. Carchizzle.
Come on, baby.
Carchizzle says 2-1. He's got Love, Hall, Gibbs, Nico, Rice, Andrew Smith, Debo, Monty, J.K. Amari, Terry Brooks, Bucky. Trade Bucky for Hawk. And should I trade Amari plus Terry for DK? You have a lot of depth here. I do like the idea of getting Hawkinson there.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, especially with the reports coming that like he's on track to come back here very soon.
Especially if you have an IR spot and you can just put him in there until he's back.
Yeah,
the Amari Terry one is difficult for me because I do think Amari is going to smash like the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, well, the matchup is just very good. I mean, he's got the Raiders, he's got Washington, he's got Philly.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I do agree. Like, it does feel like a little bit. It's interesting because Terry, I think for me, I would take DK over Amari any day right now.
Yeah.
But it's Terry. It's the add-on of Terry. If you would have done this week 1 or week 2, I personally would have probably said I want DK side.
Yeah.
But after seeing, Jaden Daniels getting a little bit more comfortable in the pocket, they're taking more shots, they're trying to get the ball to Terry. Is that going to be consistent? That's what I'm hoping for, and that's why I'm would be keeping the Amari Terry side.
Yeah. Funnily enough, when you look at his schedule, so Raiders this week, Washington, then Philly, then Cincinnati. Cincinnati's been pretty vulnerable through the air. Then Baltimore. Did you guys know that Baltimore gives up the most passing yards per game right now?
Yeah.
I mean, every fourth quarter they melt. So overall, I really like the idea, but yeah, I feel like Amari's gonna just pop off these next couple weeks.
Yeah, look, even if you were to say like, I don't know, maybe this is kind of crazy, but like if you telling me that you're gonna throw in somebody on that trade, like if you're telling me you're gonna throw in Rashid Shaheed, I would take the DK Metcalf side. If you're telling me you're gonna throw in Shakira, I'll take the DK side. A Keenan Allen, a Christian Watson, hell, even DeAndre Hopkins or Darnell Mooney. I think that moves the needle for me. Because I think at least these guys so far, from what we know, have given up safe floors outside of, I guess you could say, Christian Watson, and DeAndre Hopkins has only done it once. So that's kind of where I'm at. Says I have Brian Thomas as well. Should I try that?
Shane wants me to give him Andy Dalton in this league. That's why he super chatted. Honestly, Shane, I can't believe I'm saying this. I need Andy Dalton. I need him. I need him in this league. My team is ready to compete, and my quarterbacks aren't. I'm sorry. I need Andy Dalton. I love you, Shane.
I would say if you have Brian Thomas as well, I don't necessarily think you should swap Brian Thomas for Terry. I still want Brian Thomas over Terry, if that's kind of what you're saying.
Oh, well, if you can do Brian Thomas and Terry for DK, that would be a huge smash. I'd do that for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps, man. Thank you so much. Kevin Clark, thank you for the super chat. Full PPR T. Higgins or Shakira? Have you seen Good Burger 2? I have not seen the Good Burger 2.
No, I haven't. I haven't either.
And T. Higgins should look. I would say this: T. Higgins, that's the person you should be starting. He's going against the Carolina Panthers this week. The Carolina Panthers are not the best against the pass. I don't know why I don't have my points allowed for not up.
Yeah. No, I mean they're pretty. They're not like a smash matchup. I think they're 14th in points allowed. They're a middle of the pack matchup. But I think it makes it more interesting now that they can score points, because now you can actually test them through the air. And funnily enough, I was doing research on T. Higgins this week. If you look at what the Panthers have given up through the air, it's almost always to the secondary option. You had Shaheed go off. You had Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. And I can't remember the other game they played, but it was like the number 2 again. So I think T. Higgins is a great play this week. And I would play him over Shakir.
Yeah, I'll play more Shakira as well, as much as I love Shakira. That boy, Jay, how you doing, brother? He says full PPR, Etienne or Pollard as the RB2. I mean, this is a great question. I think Pollard has the better matchup, but how can you sit Travis Etienne this week? He's playing the Texans. He does have a tougher matchup. Yeah.
That's how you sit him.
My rankings say Etienne still, but Pollard just has a better matchup. That's basically what I can tell you. That boy.
My rankings say Pollard, and I'm rocking with them because I just don't trust this offense right now. So if you have a better option, I think Pollard is that better option. I'd go that way.
It says Ngino or CJ Stroud this week. Appreciate the help, fellas. For me, this will be CJ. I think he has a get right game this week. Against the Jags. Jags have been terrible. You just saw what Josh Allen did to the secondary, and I think that's going to continue.
I could easily see it being Gino. I really could, especially game script wise, but I would lean CJ Stroud as well.
Yeah. The Jags currently give up the second most points to the quarterback position.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Blade, just Blaze. Says 12 team, half PPR, Baker, Gibbs, Mason, Raheem, and Steele. Wide receivers are CD, Collins, Godwin, Adunze. Where can I improve? So his tight end's Dallas Goedert. That's interesting. I mean, like, let's talk about Dallas. Would you trade Dallas? I feel like trading Dallas Goedert is getting ahead of the curve. Right now, this week, Dallas Goedert's going to be great. But when those guys are back, those guys being A.J. Brown and
Devonta Smith.
I think it's going to be really tough to start Dallas Goedert still. So if we want to get ahead of that curve, would you trade Goedert for... You can't get Bowers. I wouldn't accept McBride, but you could send that offer. Ferguson? Would you trade Bowers? Ferguson?
I released a shorts on the short channel and over there on TikTok where you should try and sell Dallas Goedert. And the names that I said you should trade for was Jake Ferguson, Sam Laporta, who's currently questionable with injuries, and then Travis Kelce. I think I would just rather still play those higher upside guys that potentially still needs to be utilized in their offense over Dallas once those guys are back. So those are some 3 names that I would do personally. But can you get those done? I'm not necessarily sure, right? Because I don't know who wants to be trading. Like if you're, let's just say the Sam Laporta guy or owner is 0-3
I'm not
and he
sure I
needs a
want to
win.
trade for Sam Laporta. I don't know if he plays this week.
Yeah, like look, that's what I'm saying. It just really depends on like your situation in your team. I think we would both agree that long term you want Sam Laporta, but if you need something right now, it's definitely Dallas. 'Cause I
I
don't.
would try and get Jake Ferguson. I like him better rest of season. I would try and get Kittle. I like him better rest of season. I try and get Kincaid if I could, but outside of that, Gibbs, Mason, Raheem. I'd be willing to think about moving Mason. I don't know what your depth is. I mean, I guess this is your entire team. Hey, so outside of Mason, it's Raheem and Steele. That's kind of tough. CD,
Yeah.
Collins, Godwin, Adunze, Thielen. It's a pretty good team, man. It's a pretty good team.
Great team. It is a good team. Thank
Especially
you so
if
much
you have
for that
TJ
super chat.
Hawkinson, by the way, waiting, which is what he said. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely try and use Dallas to upgrade somewhere.
Perry Leonard, thank you so much for the super chat. Flex option: Lockett, Mooney, Addison, Mike Evans. I mean, this is easily Mike Evans for the both of us here. You start Mike Evans. I know he had a bad week. Keep in mind he was playing against
Couple
Patrick
bad weeks.
Surtain. Yeah,
He's
you're
gonna
right.
bounce
Couple
back.
bad
He's
weeks.
got a great matchup versus the Eagles. I definitely am expecting a bounce back for him.
I agree. Guys, we're gonna answer as many super chats as we can up until probably the top of the hour here. Or we're gonna get to your questions whether on the website or on YouTube. But we appreciate you. JB87. He says pick 2 this week: Wilson, Deontay Johnson, JSN, or Terry. My goodness.
We've had a similar
We
question.
had a similar question, and we both did say Deontay and JSN.
Yeah.
Because of matchup, and it's hard to sit Wilson, but you have to understand that he's going against one of the best shutdown corners in the NFL this week.
Yes, Noah Fant was limited with a toe injury, which is great for JSN. Noah Fant was so annoying last week. Anyway, yeah, I would be going Deontay Johnson and JSN. Now, Deontay was dealing with a groin injury, but he says he'll play this week. So that is good news. I mean, yeah. Deontay, dude, can I ask you a question? If you
Sure.
knew Andy Dalton started every game rest of season, where would you rank Deontay Johnson in your rest of season rankings? If you knew you had every other week now Andy Dalton starting.
I mean, I'm not going. For me right now, I would still be cautious and be like, okay, he's at least a top 25 play.
Okay.
Minimum. Like now that could be argued that like, is he going to continue to produce what he just did? No.
I'd struggle not to put him top 20.
Like, I don't know, 26 is something that he can do every week. I think I need to be more realistic. And like, if I told you Deontay Johnson is averaging 15 points per game, is he still top 20?
15 points per game, yeah, definitely.
Like,
I mean,
okay.
you look at the players who finished top 20, very few, like a
Yep,
lot of those guys aren't averaging 15 points per game.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Top 25, I feel comfortable with. Top 20 is definitely
Anyway,
a play there for sure.
all right, those are all the super chats we have for now. Guys, if you want to skip the queue, super chat's an option. Otherwise, we will go in order. And the first question that I can see in order is from John. John says 12-team PPR start 1, Drake London, Terry, or Devin Singletary. This would be Drake London for me.
Drizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Drizzy.
Eric says, got a couple questions for Thursday Night Football, Dak or Kyler. I'm going Kyler. Start 1 running back out of Dowdle,
Agreed.
Braylon Allen, Rashawn, or Zamir. I'm going Dowdle.
Agreed.
Appreciate you, Jerry. Hello, Tez says, I'm 0-3 in my home league, and I'm trying to see what I can do. I'm thinking about trading Bijan for Achane and Kittle since I'm struggling at tight end.
Yeah, we answered this. He did the super chat in the
Okay.
website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zayn
Thank you,
says, Should I start JMO or Shakir over Garrett Wilson this week? No, I would start Garrett Wilson over those names.
Yeah, that it gets too low. I think T is definitely a good conversation, but I still need to see it with T personally, and that sounds crazy. Now Donald, he said pick one: Deontay, Jawan, or Devontae Adams. This is Deontay for me. Over
Even
Devontae
if Adams
Adams.
plays?
Yeah, even if Adams plays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's crazy.
The secondary for the Browns are definitely good, even though I mean Malik just went off on them. I think they're not going to make the same mistake. Surely.
I would find it difficult to say Adams. I think I'd go Adams there, but I love Deontay this week.
Yeah.
Trade Bijan and Kincaid for James Cook. Oh, Brian Robinson.
Kincaid for James Cook.
I don't think I would, because I think Brian Robinson is a realistic start every week, and Kincaid is a difficult. Like, you can't find a tight end like that off waivers.
You can't find a tight end right now. Yeah, I completely agree. Ronnie, is it safe to flex Dottle or Addison? For me, this would be Addison over Dottle. Excuse me.
I think Dottle is a safer play, but Addison's the fun play. That's how I would view it. All right, we did get a super chat here from J and K. This is their first super chat on the stream. I appreciate you, man. He's 3-0. He's from Germany, Deutschland. He says Burrow, Mixon, Aaron Jones, Jefferson, Jamison Williams, Kittle, Diggs, Love, Charbonnet, Addison, Deontay Johnson. Pick up Dowdle. So I guess you'd have to drop one of these names. I don't think I'd drop any of these names for Dowdle. Would you?
I would say the person I think it is worth dropping would most likely be Mike Gesicki if Kittle is playing.
I would try and trade Gesicki first, because people need a tight end. And
yeah,
this sounds like it's maybe a smaller league as well.
Yeah. By the way, Kittle is expected to play this week. Expects to return to week 4. So, I agree. You can definitely try and trade Gesicki just to pick up Dowdle in this week's matchup. I mean, you kind of have a limited amount of time, but I'm not necessarily sure if you're going to be able to do that before the game starts. But if Dowdle has a good game, I think he will definitely be a top priority waiver wire pick if he is available in your league.
Yeah. I gotta set my lineups. I completely forgot in our dynasty leagues.
No worries. Yeah, I did that earlier today. But yeah, go through them, and as I go through these questions, guys, we'll be live until the top of the hour here, next 10 minutes. So we appreciate you. Obviously, I'm a Giants fan. I want to watch the game. I want to put my feet up and get through these pregame commentaries and stuff like that. Anyways, Ian, thank you so much for the super chat. Have PPR Wandale Robinson or Dobbs rest of season? Thanks as always. I mean, that's a great question. I personally I feel like you want Romeo because of Jordan Love.
I would go Wandale here.
Wandale has been really good, and I think that's a good argument. I mean, once again, averaging 10 to 12 points per game, where Dobbs hasn't rushed or surpassed that double-digit threshold right now. But give me Wandale. I would agree. It's hard to not want Romeo Dobbs there. G Particles, I think I'm saying that right. Pick 2: Tolbert, Yoshi, Ridley, Michael Wilson. For me, this for sure is Ridley, and I think it's a toss-up between Yoshi and Michael Wilson. And I'm going to be going Yoshi, because I think he's more part of the offense, where Michael Wilson kind of came up.
This is Michael Wilson for me. I agree with Ridley, but it would be Michael Wilson for me. The Washington matchup is just too juicy. Highest over under of the week. Washington has not punted in 2 weeks, so I think they'll be able to put up points, and I think that means that Michael Wilson will be needed. So I think T. Higgins was still kind of getting back into the game plan. That's the way I would go.
Yeah, I'm happy for that as well. Thank you so much for that super chat, by the way. Charlie, how you doing? He says PPR pick 2: JSN, Jawan, Chuba, Brian Thomas. Thanks. In a full PPR, one for sure is going to be JSN, and I'm going to be going Chuba this week, especially if Deebo Samuel is going to be coming back and he's participating in limited fashion, especially if George Kittle is going to be back as well.
Deebo and Kittle could be back.
So I would be going JSN and then Chuba. But if you would have told me that maybe are you starting Jawan if Debo is then not playing but Kittle's back?
I think he's a startable name, but the appeal is definitely not as strong.
I agree. I think I would do that. I will be doing that, Charlie. Like if Debo doesn't play this week, but Kittle does play, I still will go Jawan over Chuba because I think, you know, I think he
Yeah.
can still get he can still score a touchdown. Where, was it a fluke last week because the Panthers played the Raiders, or is this going to be the offense that you know
Yeah.
that they're going to
I
be
get it.
running? So hopefully that helps there. Perry Leonard, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate you. He
Yeah.
said Addison, Mooney, Lockett, drop any for
Kirk, I
Christian
assume.
Clark. Yeah, okay.
Probably Christian
Addison,
Kirk,
Mooney,
right?
Lockett. Yeah.
I'd drop Lockett for Kirk.
I'll drop Lockett for Christian Kirk. Yeah, like you saw him get a little bit more worked into this offense last week. Maybe it was because they were down early, or maybe because that was the game plan. I have no idea,
Yeah.
which is hard to tell because I still like Christian Kirk, but that secondary is a really tough matchup for the Jags. The Bills were really good against the pass there. So
Yeah. By the way, guys, sorry I'm looking at my phone. I'm just making sure I've set any lineups and put Jake Ferguson in any lineups, all that kind of
come on,
nonsense.
babe.
Sorry, continue.
Can I get a Go Giants in the chat, please? I beg of you. I need some good energy, good aura. Huh? And if you don't do that, I'll be really disappointed. But that's okay. Or maybe I
Let's
won't
go
answer your super chat.
Cowboys.
Nah,
How about
jokes.
them boys?
Nah, Romeo.
No,
Have PPR
honestly,
rest
yeah. I
this-
mean, I'll always root against the Cowboys, regardless of who the other team is. So, yeah.
I
we
definitely
can say
want
good
like
things.
Jake Ferguson to have a great game.
Yeah.
I have Jake Ferguson. Um, but I still want the W.
Yeah, I get that.
Anyways, Romeo, have PPR rest of the season. Tank Dell or George Kittle. This for me will be Tank Dell still.
I don't know, dude. I think
And
it's Pickens for me.
the reason why it's Tank Dell for me is just because of the ceiling is still higher. The quarterback play is still there. And I know Tank Dell has been doing great, and George Pickens has been doing kind of like what we've all expected him to do. At least I expected him to do. I think maybe people had higher expectations. Um, I think in any given moment, Tank Dell could still be getting a 25 plus game where I'm just not sure if that's in it for Pickens with Jordan Love, and that's not their identity at the
I've
moment.
seen enough of this offense to say Tank Dell is the least startable name of any of them. And if we're talking about
that's
startable
fair.
names, Pickens is the number one in his offense. So that's really interesting to me. And by the way, watching George Pickens play, I don't know, like, I don't think anybody should be clowning on him anymore. Like, he is an alpha. He is. He's not putting up the numbers, but he's an alpha receiver. He's in one of the lowest passing volume offenses, so that hurts him. But he's got a huge opportunity versus the Colts in week 4 to do something big. This would be George Pickens for me, man.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's okay. Hopefully that helps there. John Hargraves, thank you so much. He said, do I need to make any further moves with this team, or am I good to go? Kyler Murray, Devon Achane, James Conner, Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Trey McBride, Drake London, Braylon. I mean, this is a great team. I don't think there's anything you can do. You have a great quarterback, great 2 pairs of running backs. You have phenomenal wide receivers in Wilson, Olave, Garrett. You have the best tight end at the moment, where in the tight end landscape that's been terrible with Drake London in the wings with Braylon Allen, Hunter Henry, Bucky Irving. I think you can't go wrong right now. So I'm not necessarily sure if there's anything you can possibly do to make this team better. In a 12-man league, if this is a 12-man league, how did you get Justin Jefferson, Olave, and Garrett Wilson, but also having Devon Achane and Kyler Murray? You must have taken advantage of some people with Trey McBride as well.
I mean,
this is a great team, brother.
Let him cook.
Yeah, let him cook for sure.
Appreciate
hopefully
you,
that
John.
helps, John.
That's a very,
Thank you so
very
much.
kind donation there.
Yeah. Emmanuel.
By the way,
How
the
you
only
doing?
thing I would just quickly say is don't panic on Trey McBride if he doesn't play this week. Definitely don't trade him away or anything. Josh Downs is a great hold. I would be willing to use Bucky and like the hype of his name to upgrade somewhere. Like if I can package like Bucky and Connor and go out there and get a more reliable name rest of season, you know, a Kamara, a Mixon, a Taylor, I would be willing to look at that.
Yeah. Emmanuel, if Bijan is out, Braylon Allen or Tyler Algier, is Bijan dealing with an injury that I don't know?
I don't think he's going to be out. I haven't heard anything about that. I feel like
He
that would have
says
been big news.
Bijan shoulder
No,
limited at practice was no.
but
No.
if
I think
he
he'll
is
play.
out, then we can help. Let's just give some advice here.
I think if he is out,
hypothetically is,
I'm going to go Tyler Algier because then he would just be the
Yeah.
next guy,
yeah, agreed.
Yeah. And go Giants. Come on, talk it up.
Mhm.
I don't know what this is. I don't know how to say your name. Maybe Zach can pronounce it. You let me know. And what currency is that?
Ronskov,
Ronskov?
DKK. I think that's somewhere Europe.
Danish.
That's the Danish franc, right? The
Think
Danish
so.
krone.
The Danish crown. Thank you so much. Charbonnet for Irving, Moss, Allen, Shakira, or Chubb. Okay. I'm a little bit confused.
If you can turn Zach Charbonnet into Zach Moss right now, I think that
Yeah,
makes a
I'm
ton of
okay with
sense
that.
for you. Zach Moss is a
Shakira.
name that you can probably start rest of season. Whereas when Ken Walker's back, I don't think Charbonnet is as startable. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with. I will say this. I'll put it in order. Moss. Well, actually, I would actually have Shakira higher than Moss because I still project Chase Brown to come in, and I think Zach Moss could potentially be a good hot sell high opportunity
I don't know,
in
dude.
these next 2 weeks. But we'll wait
I
and
feel
see.
like Zach Moss is the guy at this point.
But it'll be Shakira, Moss, Irving. Sorry, Shakira, Moss, Allen, Irving, and then Chubb. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps. The professor.
Hey.
12 team full PPR flex this week. Shakira, JMO, Braylon. I'm interested to know what you're gonna say here. I know who I would start.
Well, that to me says you're going to start Shakir.
Yes.
Yeah, I would still start Jameson.
Yeah. I like Jameson, and it's nothing against him. He has the higher upside for sure. I'm just gonna go with the safer floor, especially with the Ravens. What you just told me that the Ravens give up these most points to the wide receiver position.
No, they give up the most passing yards per game.
Okay, sorry. So the most passing yards per game, which hopefully Josh Allen is going to be throwing the ball, and Shakira is clearly the number one receiver on this offense at the moment. So
Yeah,
I'll
I'd still
take
go
Shakira.
Jameson personally. I mean, it only takes one target for Jameson to pay off 6 targets that Shakir gets. So
Yeah,
I know he
and
had
that's fair.
a bad week, but I still just feel like he's the upside play. But I could be wrong, and I also think that's going to be a very competitive game. Detroit, Seattle. I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah.
Frank with the donation. This is probably
how
the
you doing,
last question, guys. If there are any more super chats, we'll of course stay on, but this is probably the last one. Badaki's a
gotta see your
Giants
lineup
fan. He
quickly.
wants to get
Come
into
on.
the hype of the game. Singletary or Shakir this week? I would probably be going Singletary. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going Singletary as well. Hopefully he has a great matchup here against a terrible Dallas defense. Come on.
Well, yeah, the Cowboys currently give up the most points to fantasy running backs, so it'd be hard with 2, spot starts not to go the best matchup. Both are great matchups. I do slightly lean Singletary, but Frank, it's got to be a gut call from you, man. If you got this gut feeling that you just don't want to play someone on Thursday and you want to rock with Shakir, go with your gut. I
Shakira
just think,
plays Sunday night as well, so I love that for him. But yes.
yeah, I just think Singletary is the better
Hey, Frank.
option.
Let me tell you who you should start. Give me a second. I'll tell you.
I mean,
exactly.
Badaki's got a Devin Singletary jersey on, so clearly.
Absolutely. I'm waiting for my thing to go up here. Oh my gosh.
He bought a Devin Singletary jersey. That's how much he believes in him.
Oh my gosh, my camera just went completely berserk. Or mine. Almost broke.
That's a fat GG's.
Almost broke my whole setup there. Give me a second. Hold on. Yes, I had a jersey on, and I was trying to show you before I almost broke my whole setup. I did a thing. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. But
That's
I almost
actually
broke
hilarious.
My whole team. But anyways,
All right, we did get one more super chat, and then we'll head off. Waddle, Mooney, Wandale, pick one this week. This would be Mooney for me. How about you?
Waddle, Mooney, Wandale. Who'd you pick? I'm sorry.
I said Mooney.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, I'll go Mooney. Just more consistent option, getting a lot of targets connected to Kirk. I like that. Downfield targets as well. Appreciate you, Troy. All right, guys, that is it for today. Appreciate you big time. The last thing that I will say is if you do want to ask us a question at any moment, you can through our website. It's an incredible website. If you haven't signed up yet, you can create a free account. Use the promo code LAND if you haven't. We've got expert rankings that are free, the trade calculator, and a couple other things. So go ahead and check out the website. That is it. I appreciate y'all for watching. Good luck tonight. We'll see you soon. And by the way, last thing I have to say is, guys, please turn your notifications on because we're doing something brand new tonight. When Thursday Night Football finishes, we're dropping a video. It's our starts of the week. We have no idea how it's going to go. We're nervous. We think it's going to flop, okay? Because why would you drop a video that late at night? But we're going to try it, all right? So make sure you're staying tuned to the channel right after this game. We're going to drop a video, starts of the week. We're nervous. We're nervous. We need your help. But we appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. All love.
Love, love, love.